Hi, this is Sandra. Thank you for coming to my YouTube channel. If you're coming here for the first time, thank you for joining me. This is where I share my DV lottery journey and adapting in the US. And if you are returning, you've been following my story from the first part that I posted, why I applied for the green card lottery. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you. And this is the first time I'm posting after the DV lottery results were announced. So if you're a DV 2024 winner, congratulations. I am super excited for you. This is an exciting journey. I must say it's gonna be a long wait, okay? From the time you got your results, which was last Saturday, to when you're going to get your second notification letter. And stick with me in this video because I am going to be talking about how my second notification letter and how I moved from that to my interview day. So yeah, I have something for you as well. And then to my brothers and sisters that applied for the DV 2024 lottery and you didn't win, I just want to say, please don't give up, okay? Please do not give up. I will share a little video where I posted some of my TikTok videos encouraging people that didn't win. I had no intentions of posting it here, but somebody wrote to me and they said they needed to speak to me personally so I can encourage them. And I thought, okay, there could be somebody else that might need some encouragement. So the next video, it will just be a little short video where I'll stitch together little TikTok videos that I posted and shared with my followers on TikTok, because that's where I spent most of my time, and I interacted with people that didn't win. I felt the pain, I felt the rejection. Despite being a DV 2023 winner, I was following people's dreams, and some of them were sending me their confirmation numbers, and I was checking the results on their behalf. And each time I broke the news that they didn't win, it was like someone was piercing my heart all over again. Some took it really badly, and so I ended up giving some word of advice, which I don't think I want to repeat here. So I'll just if you applied and you didn't win, look out for my next video. I'll post it immediately after sharing this video. Yeah, so now let's get back to my DV lottery journey. So in the last video, I ended at getting my second notification letter. But before I go that, let me give a quick timeline on how events unfolded from the time from the time I got my results. Yeah, I'll give you a quick timeline just now. So I checked for my DV lottery results on May the 7th, 2022. Then I submitted my DS260 on the 17th of May. And then in August, I unlocked my DS260. You can watch my old videos on what led to that. And then made an edit, resubmitted. And then again in November, I unlocked my DS260, made some edits, and resubmitted. My case number was 2023 AF 24,000, somewhere there. All right. So interviews started in October. Yeah. So I was following the visa bulletin that showed how my case number was moving. I was waiting for it to be current, because someone asked me that had I not unlocked my DS260, would I have been interviewed in November or October? And the answer is no. I would not have been interviewed. Even if I had submitted my DS260 and didn't unlock it, I would not have been interviewed in October, November, and December because my case number was not current. If you are new, you will later on understand what your case number being current is. I don't know if I'll talk about it in the upcoming videos, but there are other YouTubers that talk about that are more of experts, and they know these things very well. But all I'm saying is that you based on the number you are given, you see how it's moving. Let me try. Okay, say you have a case number from 1 up to 3,500. So they would say October we are going to be interviewing people with the case number from 1 to 3,500. All right, then the next month they'll move, okay, and say the people case numbers 3,500 and above up to maybe 7,900 are the people we're going to interview in November. Okay, the visa bulletin is just a little complicated for me right now. Just follow other YouTubers who are more experienced. Later on, maybe I'll catch on and be able to give technical explanations about it. What I'm saying is that my case number was around 24,000, so I would follow. If they end at 3,000, I can't be given I can't be interviewed or be given a second notification later. So in December, when I was watching the visa bulletin of December 2022, I noticed that the case numbers had moved to 20,000. And when they got to 20,000, I started getting excited because I could now predict when I was going to get my interview. My second notification letter. So in December, they moved to 20,000. And I even sent a WhatsApp message to my brother in the US and my sister. I was like, guys, I think it's about to come to pass. Hey, if you guys have been wasting money, if you don't have money to buy my ticket, get a loan if you must. But I'm warning you that if the number goes up in January, I am likely to get my interview in February. And I am not gonna wait. When I get my interview 2 weeks, I'll be on the plane and coming that side. So I gave them a little warning. I was able to do that because I was following the visa bulletin. So I was able to predict where I was and where I was going, which was good because it's a long waiting period. So if you're sitting there clueless and you don't know what's happening, it can be a confusing thing to think. You know, at one point I even used to check my email every day trying to get my second notification letter from KCC, until I realized that I shouldn't be doing that because I'm very far from getting that later. But the visa, educating myself via YouTube, watching different YouTubers, really helped me a lot. Gosh, it was supposed to be a short timeline. I'm so sorry. All right, where were we? I unlocked, and then January I got an email from KCC. Yeah, look, if you're a DV 2024 winner, even a DV 2023 winner, there are people right now, they are waiting for their second notification letters. There are some that haven't got their second notification letters. But as a DV 2024, once you get that second notification letter, ooh, it's like, yeah, you made it. Okay? You finally made it, because trust me, there are people that win and never get that second notification letter. Yeah, it happens. So I was excited when I got my second notification letter in January. Then towards the end of January, I booked for my medical appointment. And then a week, my interview was on the 17th of February. So a week before my interview, I made a booking with the embassy in Lusaka to submit my original documents. And on the 17th of February, I went to the embassy, attended my interview, and got my letter. So I hope you understand the timeline. I know I blabbered somewhere there, talked a lot. Anyway, now let's get to the long story of how it happened. January 9, I was busy watching a YouTube video, and someone had just published, I think the people that are in charge of the DV lottery published information that tells you the chances you have of getting your second notification letter or getting your visa. So this information is usually published on the 1st of January. So by the 9th, I was watching YouTube videos talking about this and sharing the website. And I went there and keyed in my case number. And yeah, I keyed in my case number, and it showed that I was like somewhere in the middle. So now I'm watching a YouTube, one of the YouTubers I was watching, and he said something in his video. I think it was a slip of the tongue. Yeah, it was a slip of the tongue. He said people with case numbers above 20,000, you are at high risk. And that deflated me. Because I was like, I thought I was somewhere in the middle. How am I suddenly high risk? I didn't understand it. I was quite low, you know. And yeah, I was low. And then I snapped out of it, thanking God and just saying, you know what? I don't care if I'm high risk or not. If God wants me to get that visa, He will give me that visa. And then the next day, no, not the next day, sorry, a few days later, yeah, I opened my email, and then I found a letter from an email from KCC telling me that I have pending updates waiting for my attention. So they don't send the second notification letter in your email. They send a link, okay, and they tell you to follow the link and use in your login details, including your confirmation number, to have access to this. So I knew exactly what that email was, and I was screaming and shouting and dancing, and I quickly clicked on that link, quickly entered my login details, and voila, there was my second notification letter. I'm sure you can see it in this video because I am pasting it so you can see it. Yeah, and there it was. I was getting my interview on the 17th of February. Wow. So when I clicked the link, well, first of all, I knew that when I get my second notification letter, I was done with KCC. Now I had to start dealing with my local embassy. All right. So I went on the local embassy, which is Lusaka, Zambia. I clicked on their website so that I could now understand what their requirements were for me to get interviewed. Because remember, each embassy has its own way of doing things. So as much as you are watching different videos from other YouTubers, you still have to go to the website of the embassy that's going to be interviewing you and check out what are their instructions, what do they want you to do in order for you to get your interview. So when I went on the website, I discovered that I need to create an online account confirming that I will be available on the 17th of February to attend my DV lottery interview. And this is how I went and created my online account. So when I went to log in, when I went onto this online account that I had created on the US Embassy Lusaka to confirm my appointment, it just told me, sorry, this case number is not ready. So I was a little bit confused. It's like, but I just got my letter my email from KCC telling me that I'm ready for interview. But I thought, well, KCC has just sent me the email. I think we should give this a little bit of time. Probably the embassy hasn't updated their records. I checked. That was on January the 13th, or was it on the 12th? I can't remember. Then the next day I checked, nothing. But I wasn't panicking. Um, there was also a tracker, where we could put our case numbers and it would tell us exactly where we are. Okay, so before I got my second notification letter, every time I put my number in that tracker, it was telling me that my case is at NVC. All right, meaning it's at KCC. It hasn't even been sent to the embassy. You're not even ready to be interviewed. Then when I got the the email from KCC, I went on the tracker, I checked, and I saw that it had moved to in transit or transit. So I wasn't panicking, even if the Lusaka embassy hadn't yet caught on to my information. I was okay. I was just thinking it's just a matter of days. It's just a matter of days. They are going to update uh, the details. And so I would check every day. It would just show in transit. And then I received an email from the Lusaka embassy. I think that was on the 18th of January when I got that email. And I was like, okay, by now, this account will allow me to log in and confirm my interview date. And I went back into that account that I had created on the US Embassy website and keyed in my information, and I saw that now it was giving me provision to confirm attendance of my interview on the 17th of January, which I gladly did. I confirmed I was available. I mean, why not? Yeah. So, and then I went back to the tracker. I was just curious, see, what is it showing now? I went back to the tracker, keyed in my case number, and it was showing ready. All right. So ready means that you are now ready for interviews. Most of you DV 2024 will not have access to this until after the January the 1st. So right now it's only working for DV 2023 winners. All right, your time will come after January the 1st. So the email from the Lusaka embassy had attachments with instructions on how they wanted me to proceed. So I clicked on those attachments, and I saw that the recommended hospital for me to use was Lusaka Trust. And they put the name of the doctor they wanted me to book with. So that was the next stage, obviously, doing my medicals. And then I went to Lusaka Trust. I made a booking. I paid 1,600 kwacha. And then they told me to come with extra money for my vaccines, because the 1,600 kwacha was just for the general medical checkup. And based on my checkup, the doctor would advise which vaccines that I would have to take. And so I asked her, do you guys have the vaccines? Because before going for my before going to book my appointment, I thought I could just get vaccinations from anywhere else. I went on the website, I downloaded, I looked up all the vaccinations that the US government wants you to take. There were so many, and I was overwhelmed. And I started going to some clinics to look for information. Gosh, that was just a waste of time. It was not necessary, because the Lusaka Trust does everything for you. It so happened that the clinic I went to didn't have the vaccines, and they told me, no, come on a Monday, we will have these vaccines, and then we can. And they told me the fee that I was supposed to pay. So I would have wasted money, but thankfully I never did that. When I went to Lusaka Trust, after I was informed that I'm supposed to do my medicals at Lusaka Trust, I was doing that background check before I got the email from the US Embassy. So I was just trying to be ahead of time by going to these clinics, which I shouldn't have done. But anyway, it looks like I love stressing myself. Yeah. So then when I went to Lusaka Trust, they told me, don't worry about whatever vaccinations the embassy needs. We have all of them. And just come with extra money. Come with an extra 1,200 kwacha. So that's what happened. I went for my medicals, and going for the medicals, you need to go with your passport, or they won't even look at you. You go with a copy of your DS260, a copy of your 2NL showing that you have been invited to go to the embassy. It should even specifically say Lusaka Embassy on this date. That information, they want to see it. They also want you to write down the US address that you put in your DS260, or the US address where your green card is going to be sent, the one that's in the system. You have to write it down for them. And then you need to give them 2 copies of your passport size photos, the US visa specs. Those are the photos they want. I went with 4 photos in my little envelope, and then the lady ended up getting all 4. I mean, the instruction said 2, and then she got all 4. Anyway, I just let her get them. So it meant that I had to go and get new photos for me to take to the embassy when submitting my documents. My medicals took 2 days. I was given a sealed envelope and a copy of my x-ray. And I was told to, when I go for my interview, I should take the sealed envelope. And of course, I knew that I should not tamper with this sealed envelope. Other embassies, the hospital mails delivers the sealed envelope to the embassy. But in my situation, my case, I was given the physical copy, the envelope. So I went with this envelope home, and I kept it in a safe place. And as I waited for time, because I did my medicals on January 26th, and then on February the 3rd, I sent an email to the Lusaka US, the Zambian US embassy, making a booking for the submission of my documents. The email to me was, I was told that I need to physically submit my documents. At this point, we had no idea how to submit our documents, because past DV winners used to email their documents to KCC. So as DV2023, we were waiting on instructions on how are we going to submit our documents. Are we going to email them at some point, or what? But anyway, the instructions we were given were physically submitting these documents. So I had to make a booking, and the instructions was that you make a booking at least 1 week before your interview day. So I sent an email on the 3rd of February to make my booking. And then on the 6th of February, the embassy responded to me and told me if I was free on the 7th of February, I could come in at 11 to submit my documents. So, I mean, on the 7th, yeah, I could come in the next day to submit my documents. So I put all my papers and everything together. I had gone around certifying my papers. I had to go and certify my grade 12 certificate at the Examination Council of Zambia, and it was packed. There were so many people there. I spent almost 4 hours, yeah, just trying to get my results verified, and other things. And then I didn't know that all that wasn't even necessary. All that standing in the queue and being stressed and other verifications that I had to do were not necessary. Because when I got to the embassy, the person receiving my documents told me, you shouldn't have done this, you shouldn't have bothered. Anyway, before I went to the embassy, what happened was that as I was putting my photocopies, which I verified, like I thought they didn't want original ones. I thought original documents, you take them on interview day, okay? Then on the day that I'm submitting my documents, 1 week before, I take photocopies because that's what I thought. And I think I must have heard that somewhere, that you take photocopies and you verify photocopies. Even your passport, when you photocopy your passport, you get it verified. So you can imagine all the documents, all the original documents I had, I photocopied them and I verified all these photocopies. But when I was going to the embassy, I just felt, as much as I'm taking photocopies of my documents, let me just carry my original documents just in case. You never know. And then, as I was leaving, I felt, you know, compelled that to carry my passport. So I was thinking, I have a certified copy of my passport. Why should I pack my passport? And I thought, you know what? You never know. Let me just pack my passport in my bag. And that's how I put it, my passport in my bag, and went to the embassy. And then when I got there, the lady just said, we want original documents. So imagine if I hadn't packed my original documents, because I presented my verified photocopies. And I said, look, but they're verified. We were told that we're supposed to bring verified photocopies. I don't even know where I had that information from. And then she said, no, we do our own verification. All this time you spent verifying these documents was a waste of time and money, my dear. We do our own verification. Anyway, so I gave her my originals and she took my passport. I thought she was going to make a photocopy of the passport and then give it back to me. And then, no, but then she kept my passport and then said, okay, that's it. We're done. See you next week for your interview. So at that time, I was a little bit confused. I forgot to ask for my passport back. Then as I went out and got to security, then I was like, oh my gosh, she didn't give me back my passport. And I was trying to ask the guards, is that normal? Is that okay? Do they, I thought they get the passport on the actual day of the interview. And yeah. And then they said, they weren't very sure. They just said, anyway, do you want us to call her or something? I can't remember if they actually called her or something. Or they just said, no, just go, it's okay. Yeah, I think even they didn't have the answers, but I thought anyway, I did not get my passport, and I have witnesses here where I've made it known that I did not get my passport. My passport was not given back to me. I was kind of freaking out on that because I had no idea whether she forgot to give it back to me or she thought she had given it back to me or something, because I was clueless. Anyway, so I just let it be. I went home and started counting down to my interview day. I was excited, and then I was also nervous because for me, this had been a long, long wait. And I know the people that watched my earlier video on why I decided to play the DV lottery, you knew that I was not really into it from the beginning, all right? I didn't even know if I wanted to relocate. But by this time in my journey, I had reached a point where every fiber of my body wanted this, all right? I was like, I have gone through a lot of failures in my life, and I feel my chapter in Zambia is finally closed, all right? And I am ready to start my new life in America, all right? I had a part-time job that I hated. It sucked. I was stressed. There was so many demands on meeting targets. Like, just sales jobs are just something else. I'll never do another sales job in my life. I hate sales. But then I had to put up with it. And put up with other things. And I had mentally checked out of Zambia. I was already seeing myself in the US, starting my new life, finding any job, whatever. My chapter had closed. And then it dawned on me that, wow, all my hopes and dreams are going to be in the consular's hands. And he has the power to say no to my dreams, crush me, or to say yes to my dreams. And that scared the crap out of me. I tried to calm down and I started panicking. I never even wanted to entertain the thought or the idea that I might not get it, all right? But then I was thinking, for a split second, Sandra, what if you don't get this visa? And just allowing myself to feel that, I felt weak, defeated, like devastated. And I told myself, but then I started comforting myself and saying, you know what, Lord, I want this. I really, really want this. I started out not wanting it for so many years, but looking at my age, I have done so many things. I have tried so many projects. I have tried to make it work in my country, and it just hasn't worked for me. And I feel my chapter in this country is closed. And I want this, Lord. I really want this. But if I don't get it, if I don't get this visa, yes, I'll be devastated. Yes, I'll be crushed. But I will live, okay? I will live. I will still serve you. You are still beautiful. You are still my God. You are still my provider. And there will still be purpose in all this. Anyway, I have told you my desires. I have done everything I can in my power. I worked on things I needed to work on. I prepared all the documents that needed to be prepared. I even over-prepared, even where it was not necessary. I did it. And I just said, it's now in your hands. It's no longer in my hands. I've played my part. And I can't look at any area in my journey where I can say, oh, I wish I had corrected that or worked on that. I said, no, it's done. It's done. There's nothing else I can do but just leave this in your hands. And that's what I did. I decided to leave it in God's hands as I counted down to my interview date. And this is where I am going to end my video. And I am going to talk about my interview in detail, excuse me, in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, for following my journey. Please subscribe to my channel, like it. I'm still new on YouTube, still trying to figure out how things work here. I mainly post on TikTok. I'm addicted to TikTok since the pandemic days. So YouTube is still all new to me. So do bear with me if things are not perfect. As I go along, the more I do this, I think I'll get better at it. Thank you so much. And please share my video with your friends, those that are interested in the DV lottery journey. Thank you for watching. Bye.